Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how I created um, form that looks like a vase using larger coiled clay. So that's what I'm working on here. These are reclaimed clay from the studio, and I'll be using a rolling pin to flatten them out, and I will stack them into cylinders, and the cylinders will be the wall of the vessel. So it will be a vase form that I'm trying to make, and the rolling pin will flatten them, and it will make it um, a lot. It will make a larger piece of wall. So I attach it. It's still soft that I don't need coil or slip and scoring at this point. But once I stack them this way, I have to be slip and scoring in between the connection. So that connection outside and inside, you have to scratch or slip and score and apply a tiny coiled clay or noodle inside and outside. So that will strengthen the actual build. So take your time, feel the clay, making sure it's retaining the shape. It's firm enough and not too wet. So it's still moving. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out what's the shape I want. Sometimes the clay will dictate what you can do with it. So I will speed up the camera, and I will be making more large coils and small coils in between to flatten. So I just quickly showed how I make that last cylinder using by inserting the actual coil inside uh, the the rolling pin, and I flatten it. So that's one way of making also large coil. So it's flattened quickly and kind of equally actually. So at this point I'm putting the coiled clay inside and outside, and feeling the walls, making sure it's not collapsing. If your slip is too wet, your piece will collapse. So I'm feeling it. I am now using a banding wheel. The banding wheel makes it easier to manipulate the entire piece. I can turn it around. I can feel where it's needed some more clay in between the coiled noodle from inside and outside. You will feel some unequal space, some spaces in between need more clay, so you can manually add clay. So I am adding another clay on top, so it's getting taller. So that's one way to make larger vessel. So this is the first 3 hours of our class. I'm trying to pace myself so it will not collapse on me. So I now put it on a bowl, and I put powder so it will not get stuck. That's very important. I have no foot right now. That's an open wall. This is just open, no foot. It's just I'm creating the wall. So I can reach over and pinch from inside to outside. So at this point, it looks like I have a vase. For a while in the beginning, I thought I might be making a picture. So as I work on it, it started to become more rounder. So it's starting to kind of collapse on me. So I used the hair dryer on a cool setting, not hot. And at this point, I flip it I think the camera is fast enough. You didn't see that I flipped that piece from the other side, so I can see the opposite side of the bowl or the piece. So that's why there's powder on it. That's the powder that I place on the bowl. So I cut the uneven rim, and I am using the hair dryer to make sure it stays firm and it will not change shape. And the cylinder on the side that I created, I am trying to make a neck for this vase. So hopefully the next time I work on this piece, I can create a neck for this um, vase. So I am still continuing to add more coil, and the opening is getting smaller, and at this point I have to give the piece time to dry. If not, it's soft. It's still soft. It needs to cure. So I am going to be covering this with plastic. Set it aside for the next time I will be over.